Good afternoon. I'm Alexandra Klitina, journalist of Kyiv Post. Today with us Natalia Yemchenko, Director of Communications, SCM Group, the Ukraine's largest investment holding. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Alexandra. Thank you very much for this invitation.
Thank you for coming. My first question actually about energy part of the SCM's business, and the company is the largest energy supplier in Ukraine. Is the Russian missile attack affected on company's assets, and in what extent?
Actually, the short answer is yes, definitely. I can say that we're biggest energy company. We're quite big. For example, in distribution of energy, we're about 16% of the whole country distribution, but it's quite big. We are operating from the point of view of distribution in 4 regions. It's Kyiv region, Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk region, and Odessa region. Just to give you an understanding regarding the geography. But from the point of view of generation, geography is different. And I would like to say that even before the start of this full-scale invasion, exactly on 22nd of February, Luhansk power station was shuttled. Mm-hmm. And actually this station and our station in Zaporizhzhia region are occupied right now. So it's about stations which are not under our control since the start of full-scale invasion. In a nutshell, you know, if explain the situation from helicopter view, our power plants were shuttled time to time from the very beginning, but starting from 10th of October, when Russia switched to strategy of full-scale destroyment of Ukrainian energy system, each of our power stations were attacked 20 times. Some missiles were, not just aimed, but landed unfortunately and exploded on our power stations. All of them are destroyed at some extent. Some of them destroyed in more extent, some of them in less. But there were no one protected power station at the moment in Ukraine, unfortunately. And we're talking about like equipment. We're talking about buildings or infrastructure, but unfortunately, it's also about people. And 3 our employees were killed during these 2 months, and 24 are injured in some extent. And we do everything possible to help them to save their lives and their health and to come back to normal. But we're pretty sure that we will cope with everything connected with our plants. But unfortunately, nobody will bring back our employees or their health. And we're talking also about grids. Grids, it's something which is on the process of destroying on the day-to-day basis, especially on Donetsk region, on Dnipropetrovsk region. In Odessa, you know that Odessa at the moment is one of the most complicated regions from the point of view of energy situation. And we have some statistics. A big number is that our team, our employees, our workers, our energy guys bring back electricity to 5.8 million households, not people, but households from the beginning of the full-scale invasion. So, it's like the big country project to bring electricity back.
Actually, I was always wondering how people, the workers, just cope with this danger, because each air raid is, I think, it's direct danger to the people that working on the stations.
Honestly, we do understand that they're heroes. We do understand that they, act on the front line almost, as far as, especially after the occupation. They're third after soldiers and the SNS. I mean, our special service, which is focused on demining. And they are third after them. As far as electricity and energy is actually some kind of first step to bring back civilization to the occupied territories. And from this point of view, definitely we also have the same situation with Ukr Telecom. with our communication business, but energy guys first.
Yeah,
Always.
absolutely. How long would it take to repair, to restore, replace the equipment damaged? And actually, are there any challenges, for example, for supply of the equipment?
Yes, of course. Again, so DTEK is small part of the big system, and definitely our losses is a small part of huge losses. For example, last attack this Monday at night, actually it hurted not our equipment, but equipment of state-owned big like Ukrenergo, big company Ukrenergo. Nevertheless, for us, it's a joint front line to, find the decision and in the solution how to provide the capital of Ukraine with electricity in spite of this tremendous destroyment which was made by Shahid drones. And from this point of view, if you are talking about the tech situation, we are trying to mend everything which was destroyed as soon as possible. But if we are talking about the whole system, definitely the situation is very complicated. I don't want to, create some good expectations or some illusionary hopes. Situation is very complicated. At the same time, I know that state-owned companies and actually state made a lot of effort to bring some technical support, technological support, some equipment from our Western partners. And as far as 1 month of winter is almost gone. And the longest night in the year is in the past. It was today, that today was the longest night during the year, and each next night would be a little bit shorter. It means that each day would be a little bit longer, more sun, and and spring is a little bit closer. So definitely we have a hope that we will survive during this winter. But until March, unfortunately, our main aim not to rebuild the system, not to bring electricity and a situation with energy system back to normal. It's not about that. It's about surviving, and it's about surviving all together with Western partners, but in very deep cooperation and unification of all Ukrainian players on energy market. It's extremely important. Otherwise,
is the state helping DTEK?
We are in a very deep cooperation with the state. Again, so it's only about partnership. Nobody would be able to survive this winter as a standalone entity. It's impossible at all. Our system is quite integrated. You know that we went through unbundling, but we just in the process of it. So we are still extremely connected to each other, and any kind of this cooperation, miscommunication could create a huge problem. So we are a very reliable partner for the state, especially on the energy question, especially on the energy topic, especially this winter. And we feel full-scale cooperation with the state, and it's really good. It's really good story. I'm really happy to say it.
Great. And what about the general SCM businesses? What is the potential losses? What is the challenges?
First of all, for us as a business, for us as a company, for us as a corporate citizen, this war started 8 years ago. We lost a big bunch of our assets, big part of our business in Donbass and in Crimea. And probably I told you during our previous conversation that we were one of not big amount of Ukrainian companies who filed this huge case against Russian Federation as a state regarding loss of our Crimea assets. Actually, DTEK Krymenergo. So it was exactly in the tech sphere, in energy sphere. And we were waiting for first solution of court this spring. Unfortunately, agenda a little bit, different right now, but definitely we will push this case, and we would like to see the result of justice. As far as we're pretty sure that any crime should be punished, and Russia is a terroristic regime of very big state should be accountable. I do believe that absence of accountability, deficit of accountability, was one of huge reasons why this war, this full-scale invasion, was started. Because they never were punished for Chechnya 1, Chechnya 1, Chechnya 2, Syria, Georgia, Crimea, Donbass, etc. And absence of accountability create a feeling, in Russians' heads, that actually they could do it again and again, and they could take everything they want, and they could kill as many people as they able to kill, and they never would be punished. And this is why we filed this year in the European Court of Human Rights case directly from Mr. Akhmetov. And this case definitely, about some compensations, but it's on the philosophical level of view, it's not about money. It's first of all about accountability, and it's about instant justice. We, as Ukraine, have a unique chance to push global system of justice to new speed and a new level of response as far as justice should be unavoidable, instant, quite quick, based on facts, and very personal. And if we will be able to bring this new philosophy of justice to the global system of justice, I do believe that a lot of potential conflicts, a lot of potential, invasions would be prevented.
But what is the amount of the claim?
It's not final. So definitely, the war is ongoing. The main focus of this claim is on our Mariupol assets, Azovstal and Illyich. Actually, our steel business, Metinvest, added separate files, separate cases to the same file. And as far as I remember, they filed like 16 separate assets. In his statement, Mr. Akhmetov said that I do not remember the particular number, but it's tens of billions of dollars or euros. So amount huge. But again, amount, first of all, is not final. Second, it's not the main reason why we filed this case. We need a justice, and Russia should pay.
Actually, it's DTEK office been shelled here in the next street. Do you think Russians did it on purpose?
It's quite complicated to answer. As far as after the very beginning of full-scale invasion, our security guys said that we can't stay on the same office. So we removed all our employees from tower like months before the attack. So yeah, it wasn't the tech office at the moment of attack, and actually our security guys were, very, I would say, worried about the configuration of the building, locating of the building, etc. So I don't think that it was in purpose from the point of view of the tech. But as you know, it's a very specific part of the city with a railway station and with some heating infrastructure, so I think it was connected either with station or with heating facilities.
What about SCM strategy in wartime? So what is the expectations for next year?
Actually, our main strategy is to focus on our impact and our input to a victory. We do believe that it's main task and target and aim for all Ukrainian business, but for SCM and SCM businesses for sure. At the moment, we transfer 4.1, I think, billion hryvnias just as aid.
To the budget, right?
No. Budget is separate part. We are talking only about some humanitarian and military support. So we are talking. So it's just it's like an aid. And we stay to pay salaries. We try to save all working places we could. So we think that normal operation of our power plants, steel plants, etc., is part of supporting economy. And actually, working economy during the wartime is extremely important for saving country in normal, workable, sustainable shape. So it's about near the front line. All our assets are in the very good shape, not good shape, but they work. In Pokrovsk, in Avdiivka, even in Kurakhova. So in Donetsk region, in Zaporizhzhia region. So our steel plant in Zaporizhzhia is working not only, for production some steel, but focus with very special steel for, I don't know in English, but this steel which could protect.
For armor.
Yeah, armed steel. Yeah, I think that it's armed steel. So they start to produce an armed steel, 16,000 life-saving vests for our soldiers per month. So it's more than 160,000 vests with our steel. It's like each tenth life-saving vest is on the front line is ours.
It's great to hear. So you just SKM facing losses in energy sector, but in steel sphere, it's still getting profits, so it helps to recover.
No, I mean, we lost two biggest steel plants. So let's starting from the point that biggest losses from the point of view of assets definitely on the side of steel business. As far as Mariupol is totally occupied and we don't know what is going on with our assets, we know that the city is heavily destroyed and,
It's still complicated because, I had interview with World Bank official and he said that for utility companies would be difficult and probably state should help and support those companies after the war. So that's why I'm asking, guessing that situation is
No, situation is very complicated. I'm talking, I told you about armed steel, but again, this armed steel which is produced and delivered to our army, it's not, something we are paid for from the point of view of state. It's pro bono.
So you do
it's
it
pro
just,
bono. No, it's pro bono. Yeah. Armed steel is pro bono. We do a lot of fortification constructions for frontline. It's totally pro bono. We bought a lot of cars and we armed them I don't know, a lot of generators. I don't know in English, буржуйка.
Heater, some kind of heater, yeah.
Very special, yes, for frontline. And drones, etc. Everything is pro bono. So it's not something we sell to state. No, not at all. And for steel business, at the moment, it's a main focus to help our army. We created a special initiative. We named it Steel Front. And we focus on very deep cooperation with ZSU, with Ukrainian army to understand what they really need. And not only to buy it, because, a lot of foundations, etc., try to buy it and to, provide it to army, but to produce. And it's a little bit different philosophy. First of all, because we create something new and very customized. For example, we invited all together with GUR during the summer, special protecting capsules, which we put to the land. And it's like housing for our soldiers on the front line for winter. I do believe that, war is not over and unfortunately, victory is not here. In the same time, I do believe that if we would be able to be unified, not only inside of the country, but it's extremely important nevertheless, but we would be unified with our European partners, with our Western partners, I mean US, we would win.
So SKM is supporting recent Euro-integrational policies approved by the parliament because now we have quite big changes in the local policy, so a lot of Euro-integrational bills passed. So SKM is supporting, right?
We are big protagonist, big supporter and big ambassador of the idea of European integration. Because of number of reasons, and actually it's not only words, it's about actions. For example, DTEK, coming back to our energy company, was one of the biggest actors and protagonists and players who move Ukrainian energy system to Europe. We started this process, long time before full-scale invasion.
But actually, DTEK exported the energy, right?
It's not about exportation. Ukrainian energy system before 24th of February was integrated with Russian energy system. And energy system is quite complicated mechanism. So it was obvious for us that we should be disintegrated as far as we, evaluated in a very clear way all risks, etc. And it means that we were forced to discuss with Europe our integration to European energy society. It was exactly our rationale. Europe decided that we are ready, and now we are the part of European energy society from the point of view of physical connection, but from the point of view of rules, policies, regulations. Ukraine, the whole Ukrainian energy system, and the DTEK as a part of this system could be very important part of European energy security. And Ukraine could provide to Europe a very different kind of energy to compensate Russian gas, Russian oil, etc. And from my point of view, it's a different level of discussion when we said, yes, right now we need your help, but you also could receive a lot of input from Ukraine's side to your energy stability, energy autonomy, energy security. So we are not just, guys who try to receive something from you. We are potential partners, good partners, effective partners.
Absolutely. But what about steel business? I think it's a lot of environmental policies actually involved in Euro-integrational process. I guess it could be quite challenging and requires investments.
From one point of view, yes, it's challenging. From other point of view, at 16th of February in Mariupol, shareholder Mr. Akhmetov, all together with management of Metinvest, presented $1 billion investment program focused exactly on that, focused on green steel, focused on strategy to modernize our steel assets in a way when we would be even a little bit more green and more modernized than European steel companies. From one side, for us, as far as we are talking about the full-scale modernization, it's logical. From other side, it would give us some competitive advantage. So for us, this decision was made, and actually we are on the same position. We are ready for that. The problem is, the challenge is that investment cycle in steel industry is very long. So to modernize steel plant, you need years, 5, 7, 10. And unfortunately, right now, at this particular moment, we do not see a lot of options how to do it, especially, with regard to, looking on Mariupol. In spite of the fact that we do believe that Mariupol would be deoccupied quite soon, and we would rebuild this city altogether with absolutely new steel production.
And what about this initiative to rebuild Mariupol? Is there a fund set up actually?
It's a very good question. For us, the rebuilding of Mariupol, and actually the name is very symbolic, Mariupol Reborn. So it's not about rebuilding the city, just to bring everything back as it was, but about rethinking, rebuilding. So it's about new philosophy. And it was initiated by city council and mayor. And it was initiated not just because, it was a good idea, but because it was quite a strong request from citizens with whom city council in a very deep connection through very effective social centers. Mariupol, 16 centers all over the Ukraine, more than 50,000 people, which, at least once a week visited it. So it's very, very, very effective system. And they discuss with citizens, is it right time to start to think about the new future of Mariupol? And they received an answer, yes. People need not only the hope, but a very particular vision about the future of the city. For them, it's really important. In September, we signed up the memorandum as an SCM with the city council, where we said that we would like to support this initiative as a general partner. And for us, it means that we support like project office. Definitely, you know, it's an initiative with an open code. It means that their task of the team to cooperate with international donors, to cooperate with very different initiatives, to consolidate all constructive energy, all people, all actors who would like to be a part of creation of this new symbol of new Ukraine. But definitely, you know, our role is very important because we would like to support the capacity building. And it's always like a very beginning. Without team, without project office, without people who would move it forward, nothing would happen. It's our role.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also wanted to ask about Rinat Akhmetov, why he transferred these two TV channels, Ukraine and Ukraine 24, to the state, and what are the consequences to the business? And actually, it's a quite huge media empire.
First of all, he didn't transfer the media business to state. He just transferred licenses, TV licenses, like just allowance to translate the content back to state. Everything else, starting from studios and technical equipment and finishing people, never was, and brands definitely never were transferred to the state. You know, in Ukraine, you know, it's not allowed to have a state-owned media, so it's even technically impossible. So just to fix that, we didn't transfer our TV channels to the state. It's not the case. No, we just transfer back the licenses.
Okay.
Yeah. So we just close our media companies. So we exit from business and just close it. As far as during the war, it's absolutely impossible to sell it. Especially with regard, taking into account our very specific regulation in the sphere of media, state regulation, I mean. And actually the reason it was announced by him, and you know, it's not a secret, it was a result of that the state start to implement a law called anti-oligarch, which is, we do believe, which is quite discriminative, and actually it's our official position. And you know, we always were very, very focused on being on respecting the rule of law and working in line with all Ukrainian law, even if we are not okay with it. So for us, law is like, and a rule of law is like a you know, undiscussable principle of our existence. And this law was accepted, was signed by president, was implemented. So actually for us, it's absolutely unacceptable to be marked as an oligarch or something like this. So we made this decision, and actually this decision was done very fast. And I could assure you that none of the team was in the course of the business. And definitely it was not something about money or complicated, you know, games, etc. No, very direct reason, very direct decision, very direct communication. Nothing, you know, behind of.
Yeah, but I guess it's still. I mean, I think it was difficult decision.
It's very no. It was very complicated decision. You know, we were in this business more than 20 years. We invest more than $1.5 billion in that. For us, you know, we created the most successful and prominent media business, and we do believe that it was our big input in institution of free media in Ukraine, because free media is really strong institution here in this country. And exactly this institution plays, and I hope will play, a huge role in creation of system of checks and balances and all this stuff. And from this point of view, it was hard decision, not only from the point of view of investment company and business, but also from the point of view us as a corporate citizen.
Yeah, I guess so. And what about Rinat Akhmetov? Is he visiting Ukraine or he stays abroad most of the time?
Actually, he flew back to Kyiv at 23rd of February for the meeting with President. I was on this meeting, so I asked him directly after the meeting what are our plans, and he said we are going to our homes and, sleep in our beds. So we're here and we're working. And actually, he's in Ukraine and never leaves it. Mm-hmm. So he's in Ukraine from the very beginning of the full-scale invasion. He's here. And actually, he decided not to leave Ukraine until the victory.
Thank you for this interview.
Thank you, Sasha, for invitation.